I think that says 7 minutes. I mean, I could be wrong, but and tell me, guys, in the comments if you can hear me loud and clear, because what we don't want to do, I was looking for a cable that goes into my Rodecaster Pro mics, and I couldn't find it. So for all intent and purposes, you're probably not even hearing me right now. But of course, I will only know that if you tell me in the comments that I am loud and clear. Please tell me, please let me read those beautiful words loud and clear. I'm very happy. Is it clear though? Because the other day, this is how unprepared I am. Okay, you're loud and clear. I'm very happy to hear that. Sometimes I use these little mics, but these aren't always clear. You see these, they're not always clear. So I prefer the Rode mics. I prefer these. Now, sometimes you need the cable. Okay, this is the transmitter. And then, of course, this is the mic that I connect the lavalier mic, the lav, they say, to my, is this a receiver? Is that what you call it? This is the transmitter and this is the receiver. All right, so I was looking for the Rode cable that goes into my transmitter, couldn't find it. And so I started panicking. I said to myself, if I stick in the wrong cable, what's invariably going to happen is that my Facebook audience are going to turn around and they're going to say, mwewa, for the life of us, we can't hear a thing. But here it is, you're telling me in fine style that you can hear me through the lavalier mic. And I must tell you, the sound is always better with the lav connected to the receiver of the Rode mics. A little affiliate marketing here, although Rode is not paying me for saying that, I'm just sharing with you my experience. Hello, there's nothing wrong with that. Guys, it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and there are a couple of things I want to talk to you about. Although I must tell you that when I first posted that I was going to have this conversation, some schmuck, some smart aleck, in fact, let me tell you his name right now, because these haters, boy, I tell you, they do my head in. They really do. Some smart aleck, I'll call his name here in a moment, and while I'm doing that, please do me a favor, please share this live with people that are important to you and that you think would be interested in having this conversation. I'll tell you exactly who the schmuck was. Here it is. Here it is. I'll tell you now. He says to me, Frank Mwangilwa. That's his name, Frank Mwangilwa. When I posted that I was going to talk about these three things, I was going to talk about painful breakups and child support, and I was also going to talk about Bowman's arrogance in front of the court system. This chap says, small minds discuss character of people. And I replied, and I said, well, but you're going to be watching though, okay? I mean, this is a topic of, it's a trend, isn't it? I mean, it's a trending topic, isn't it? And when there are trending topics, everybody's been talking about this. Everybody's thrown in their 2 cents worth, In fact, this morning I phoned K Plus from Zed Podcast. I said to him, hey, K Plus, do you have Millie's number? Because my original plan was to have her come over here and then we can discuss what she went through at the awards the other night. But then, Millie wears her feelings on her sleeve. Do you know what that means? Nothing is hidden with Millie. Immediately she went to social media and she just literally unloaded. She just poured out her heart and she just said all the things that you were thinking. And so I figured, well, even if I call her for an interview, and there's no guarantee that she would have said yes. I'm not presuming that she would say yes. Assuming she did, my thought was, well, she's already said everything on her platform. So the mystique has waned because, she sort of divulged on her page and she shared everything that she felt that she needed to share. But I still think that there's a lot to be gleaned from this experience. Now, just to bring you guys up to speed, oh, by the way, just as a matter of note, what do you think of this tie? Does this tie go with this shirt? Tell me honestly. I was struggling. I wasn't sure which tie to go with, okay? I wasn't sure if I should go with this tie or this tie. Tell me which works. Tell me which one works. Tell me. Is this the one or this the one? Because I sort of like the maroon one, you know. The maroon one's doing it for me, okay? Now, listen, I'm not trying to shove it down your throat. I'm just saying it works for me, okay? So just so you know, I did put some thought into this. I didn't just wake up and slip on a tie. Guys, I keep telling you, I'm really trying to improve my look for you. I really am. I'm trying to shed this reflective thing because I know a lot of people were confused. I had some guy from America write me, says, hey, listen, man, I was listening to your podcast, but what threw me off was that reflective thing you wear. What is up with that? What is the deal? You know, did you sneak into that office off the street and you know how to use the cameras and then you started using somebody's office? Are you there legally? He says, are you a garbage collector that's wandered into somebody's building and you're using somebody's office to sort of build an audience? He says this to me. So I tried to explain to them. I said, no, this is I said, no, well, the thing is, it's the reflector that's throwing me off. So I'm really trying to shed this persona of me sitting in the office with a reflector. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. The only time you will see me with a reflector is when I'm on the street. But when I'm in my office, my podcast, I'm going to try and convey a level of professionalism so that you guys can take me seriously. Can we agree on that? Can we, as my Pastor Walker would say, is that clear? Can we agree? Can we agree on that? Yeah? Okay. So here's the thing, guys. Let me bring you up to speed. As you know, it was such a mess. Oh my goodness, it was like watching a train wreck. Honestly, I couldn't believe I was looking at it. So the other day, and incidentally, I was nominated I was nominated in the category, I forget what it was, but it was the category of, I was with Mwewa Kanji, this young man named, what was his name? Tell me in the comments. And I think somebody else. I think there were 3 or 4 of us in the same category. And of course, Mwewa won, and she took that prize that night. The only reason I don't go to these functions, and I know it's going to sound like I'm old school, but that's the truth. Guys, when I am out, anytime after 21 hours, 9 p.m., OMG, out like a light. I'm not a night person. That Icon show that we did, that was a rarity for me. We never go out. I mean, I'm at a stage in my life where I don't like going out at night. I don't. So that's the reason. What was his name? Remy Kangwa. That's right. That was his name. Remy Kangwa. And he campaigned hard. Bless his heart. He really did. But eventually, people like that will get the. And incidentally, some of you may not know this, but I was actually the very first recipient of that award. Did you know this? Did you guys know this? For those of you that keep thinking that, that I never won anything, as a matter of interest, I was actually the very first recipient of that particular award, if that means anything. I'm just sharing that with you because it's a fact and it's a part of the history of those awards. Okay, so every time I hop on Facebook, I look for your new posts. Do you? Thank you so much. So let me bring you up to speed. As many of you know, the Diamond TV Personality of the Year Awards. This is a yearly award ceremony. It's grown since its inception. I'll get it right in a moment. It's grown exponentially. And it's a really excellent platform. It's a very good way of identifying who's who in the zoo. Not that to define mayo. I'm just saying, okay? It gives, and guys, you must understand, these awards are extremely important. especially for corporates that want to use social media personalities to sort of push their products and their goods and what they do. They go to these awards to see who are the movers and shakers, who's who in the zoo, honey. And so these awards, they take place every year near the end of the year, near the end of every year, and they grow bigger and bigger. And so this a few weeks ago, was it a week ago, they held, I don't know if it's the fifth or sixth one, and Millie Beauty decided to show up at that award. I'm not even sure if she was nominated. Tell me in the comments, was she not? Because I do know that her ex, and I don't want to call him her husband, because are they married? Are they legally married? Were they legally married? You know, because in Zambia, you never know. You know, it's like this young girl, Tatiana, what's her name? Tiana, and Chile One. You know, at one point they said they were married when they weren't. And I remember I was over at the Urban Masai restaurant. It was the first time I met the young lady, Tiana. I think her name is Tiana. The very first question I asked her, I said, I want to know, are you married, you and Chile? She said, no, we're not married. I said, well, why do you bill yourselves that way? You know, and guys, learn this. If you're not married, don't say you're married. I know to some of you that may sound like something that's cool, it's hip, it's so social media-esque. Oh, we're married. Don't say you're married when you're not. It just creates a variety of problems. And then guys, the other thing is that don't confuse your audience. If you say you're married, be married. Don't say, no, we're married, no, we've broken up, no, we're together, no, what you heard was a rumor. You will confuse the heck out of your audience, and nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody. Okay? And this is a word to families. Families out there, parents, uncles, aunts, guardians that have young people as social media personalities. Advise them. They should not be taking such things lightly. Don't say you are married when you are not. That is nonsense. Okay? It is nonsense. It will come back to bite you in the royal tush, in the royal behind. It will. It always does. Okay? It always does. So anyway, what the heck was I saying? Could somebody remind me what I was talking about? Yeah? So these awards took place. I'm not sure if Millie was nominated, but she was there along with Mr. Mulwanda. Okay? And I'll never forget the antics of Millie and Mulwanda on social media. It was a train wreck. And I'll never forget, Millie used to say things like, these breasts are for Mr. Mulwanda. They're from Mr. Sorry. These breasts are from Mr. Bowman. Do you remember her saying that? Millie, I love you, but sometimes your cheese slides off your cracker sometimes. Honestly, really. So anyway, Mr. Mulwanda decides to show up with his new girlfriend, okay, and who happens to win an award that night, okay? Mulwanda's girlfriend, I don't know who the hell she is, she decides to, the POTUS, not POTUS, the award ceremony, they awarded her with best, I don't know, fashion design or something. And you can imagine how Millie felt sitting there watching her ex-boyfriend / husband in the company of some chick who was awarded best fashion designer. Now, let me tell you something about breakups, okay? There is nothing more emotionally painful than watching your ex move on. And this is the phenomenon about exes. I mean, I've been married for 25 years, but before I got married, I did date. I had 2 significant relationships when I was younger. And I tell you, breakups are not easy. They're very difficult emotionally. I look back now and I think to myself, where did I get the tools to handle the emotional stress of a breakup? You know, it's one thing to be in a in a relationship with a girl that you just call your girlfriend, and eventually you break up because, you're not gelling. In my case, one of the girls I dated just walked up to me one day. She says, "You know what? It's not working. It's not working, and I can't do this." I said, "What do you mean? Well, you can't?" She said, "No, I just cannot do it." I laugh now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I'll tell you that. And then this is what I believe. Ultimately, we end up with the people we're supposed to end up with. I look back and I think those were great people, but they were not great for me. The person I'm with now, my wife now, 25 years, I couldn't ask for better. I just could not. Not that those people were bad, they were just not right for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. So here it is. Breakups are very, very painful, especially if you don't have the emotional tools to sort of deal with it. And you need to go through the gamut. You just need to go through the process because it's part of growing up. It's part of an emotional intelligence. It builds your character. It helps you sort of navigate through life better. Okay, life is not sunshine and rainbows. You go through breakups. So anyway, so my point in saying that is that some people handle breakups better than others. Now, the difference between a breakup between a boyfriend and girlfriend and a divorce, somebody said it this way. Somebody said, a divorce is like a death, except the corpse, is still walking around. Woo! Boy, I tell you what, that is one of the most perfect descriptions of a divorce I've ever heard. Let me say it again because I think that's important. They said divorce is like a death. The only difference is the corpse is still walking around, and every so often you run into the corpse. Isn't that painful? So here it is. Millie was at this show and she sees her ex-beau with this girl. And here's the thing about breakups. Your exes always look good when you see them. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that the most amazing thing, that when you break off with a girl, or if you're a guy, if you're a girl, you break off with a guy, the next time you see them, they just look so beautiful, and you think, she's not with me, she's with somebody else. It's more painful, especially when you see them with somebody else. Oh, Lord have mercy. That is pain I would never want to wish on anybody in the world. Woo! That's painful, brother. That puts the letter P in painful there, boy. So here it is. Millie looks over and she sees her Mulwanda. These are Mr. Mulwanda's breasts. They're Mr. Mulwanda's breasts. Okay? She looks over and she sees Mulwanda with this other chick. Goes ballistic. The very first thing she says is, "You stole my wigs, you drug addict. Our children go to sleep hungry at night, and you're out here with this little hussy. Just who the hell do you think you are? Huh? First of all, you steal my wigs. You don't pay any child support. And you're out here looking like Don Johnson, like from Miami Vice. Who the hell do you think you are?" Mulwanda immediately retorts, "Iwe, I send you money every month." Now, let's examine these statements, okay? First of all, if a man steals your wigs and he's a drug addict, honey, he's not sending you no 300,000, 300 kwacha, 500 kwacha a week or month. He's not doing that. Why? Because he simply doesn't have the money. He doesn't. Now, when you as a woman have established that this guy doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the wherewithal, he doesn't have the dexterity of taking care of you and your children, when you determine that, and it's very clear to you that this guy does not have the tools to provide for you and your children, honey, Move on. Move on. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your emotions. The only thing that is painful about this situation for Millie is the fact that somebody else has her man, not her. It's got nothing to do with child support, because God knows Mulwanda doesn't have a penny to his name. Bless his heart. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just telling you what it is. By virtue of the fact that Millie shares all of this with us, there is not a thing we don't know about Mulwanda. Not too long ago, he came on social media and then he started talking about the mathematics of pennies. Confused the hell out of me. Do you remember that? Do you remember that video where he says, this 1 kwacha, I've got 1 kwacha. For every 15 ngwe that I make in my life, I'm going to give you 75 ngwe from the 3 kwacha that I have. Not forgetting the 10 kwacha that is in my bank account. Every 1 kwacha that I have is stamped with your name, because the 6 kwacha that is embedded in the 3 kwacha from the stuff you're confused. If you have 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 10 kwacha, no, this confused the hell out of me. I was thinking, Mulwanda, what the hell are you talking about? Okay, I mean, this is what happens. So here's the deal. It's got nothing to do with Mulwanda's ability. It's got nothing to do with that, because God knows he doesn't have any money. He doesn't. I mean, the girl that he's with now, it's only a matter of time before she realizes that he's mooching off of her. There's nothing worse that a woman hates. There's nothing more a woman hates than a man who just feeds off of her. Let me say that again. Let me switch this off. They keep calling me. There is nothing on the planet that a woman hates more than a man that just lives off of her. It may be fine and dandy for the first few weeks. It may be hunky-dory for a few months. But oh, honey, there comes a time when the woman says, are you just going to lay there and watch TV all day? You're going to sit there and play video games all day? They're hustling and you're watching Netflix 4, 6, 7 hours a day. You better get off of your raw behind, do something with your behind before I kick you out. So for the first few weeks, it's fine, you know. But oh, honey, let me tell you, these women, don't mess around with these women, boy. These women kick you to the curb. These women mess you up. These women will tell you, man, if you're not hustling, you want to watch Netflix 6 hours a day, go rent your own apartment. You're not going to be in my apartment, my flat, my house, watching Netflix for no 6, 7 hours a day. You don't bring anything to the table. You don't do anything worth a darn. Don't mess around with these women, boy. These women mess you up. They'll mess you up, boy. What these women want is a woman wants to see you hustling. That's what they want. They love that sort of thing. Ngawai morichero, waya wombejito, bara temwa fe bafwaya. Tabafwa yo muntu eke fiare tamba fe TV from 6 to 6. Nonsense. Mulwanda. So here it is. And guys, these are lessons that they have to learn on their own. The issue of child support. It's only mono Zambia where tuangala na child support. In Zambia, a woman can take a man to court, Kuraku magistrate's court. The husband can just simply say to the magistrate, "Idempia shikwete, panonang fiwanu ngwe shikwete neya kwendela shikwete." So the only money I can afford to give this woman, this ex-wife of mine, is 500 kwacha per month. And then the court deduces, the court says, no, chine na tumona your capabilities. You uza kwanisa 500. Abasika na uziva pasa 200 kwacha per month. What can you do out of 200? Nikuno tuangala in America. Tabanga shabwana, they don't play. When you are labeled as a deadbeat dad, because that's what they call them in the States. In the States, they're called deadbeat dads. Dads that don't meet their obligation and their responsibility. We've got deadbeat dads all over the place running around here in Zambia thinking that they're hot stuff. All they are deadbeat dads. They don't support their kids, but they're out every weekend. They don't pay school fees. They don't buy any clothes, shoes for the babies, but they're out every night playing and whooping and hollering. Deadbeat dads everywhere. And our court system doesn't take these chaps to court, to task. If you are out at an award show. Not that there's anything wrong with going to an award show, but Millie's point was, you are out here enjoying. You know, when a woman, listen, this is the reason. The Shakespearean quote, the famous Shakespearean quote, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Do you know what that means? Somebody tell me in the comments what that means. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. What that means is, you can take all the anguish, all the anger, all the pain, all the frustration in hell. You can put it all together, but it won't match the anger and the frustration of a woman that has been jilted, betrayed, or scorned. The hell, the anguish, the pain, the frustration, the discomfort of hell pales into utter insignificance compared to the frustration of a woman that has been jilted, rejected, ignored, scorned, double-dealed, and skullduggered. Oh, don't mess around with a woman that's been scorned, boy. A woman mess you up. These women, you do a woman wrong. Woo. What did R. Kelly say? R. Kelly said something. He said, when a woman's mind is made up, what was the line? Tell me in the comments. When a woman's mind is made up, oh, you can't stop her, boy. She's like a freight train. She will barrel through you and look the other way. Okay? So everything that Millie was displaying that night when she came through, and she said, you stole my wigs. You drug addict, you. The kids, now we know the kids don't go to bed hungry because Millie provides for those children. I mean, if those kids went hungry, they would be dead. But we know they're not dead. They are in good hands with their mother. Millie's point was, you are not fulfilling your responsibilities. You are supposed to bring something to the plate. Even if I, as a mother, am doing that, you as a father are supposed to take charge of your part. But here's the thing, guys. Women, and listen to me, don't waste your emotional intelligence on a man that doesn't want to be involved. I know it's painful, and it is. I know it hurts, and it does. But if a man walks out, oh, honey, let him go. Just let him go, because you're going to spend the rest of your life in a world of hurt and pain. We don't have the system they have in America, where you take him to task and everything, half of everything, the state awards you as a woman. We don't have that system, unfortunately. And if it's there, I'm unaware that it is there. So because of that, you are going to spend the rest of your life fighting with someone who is just useless. And all in the process, now you got to remember, that man is the father of your children. The worst possible thing as a woman is for you to badmouth your ex-husband to your children. Oh, that's going to affect your kids. Your kids are not going to grow up with a whole sense of being. You're going to mess up your children. Don't do that. Don't. So basically, in my view, yes, Millie's hurting. Yes, she's in pain. But we've seen everything. Bantu, what is next? Umuntu alafa. Ngamule ngala na bababili aba. Bababili aba. Aba edo baba fe banga pa social media baba banga babili. If they don't stop these antics, I'm telling you, paka for apomo. Tukomfuafia tiyo umfweni kuchitenyoku alana chichitika chinshi chati ati nafi chitika bamukoma na afwa umulopa fye fwa afa no kufwa. You find yourself in the news. Let it go. Let it go. It's better to be hurt and later on deal with it rather than having to deal with a murder case. We don't want that for either one of you. And let me lastly say this. Don't insult each other in public. I know the propensities there. I know it's painful. And I know in the moment you're upset. I know you're angry. But don't. And then on top of that, you guys, everything is on record now. There are people that recorded that. One of you should have stayed home. Millie especially. You know, if she wasn't nominated, Millie should have just stayed home. Because that was an unavoidable confrontation. Now it's on video. It's going to live forever. 20 years from now, we're all going to remember that moment. And you don't want that. But, you know, do these kids listen? They don't. Especially these breasts. These are Mr. Mlonda's breasts. These are Mr. Mlonda's breasts. These breasts belong to Mr. Mlonda. This tukwacha, from this one kwacha, every one kwacha I have, I'm going to give you 7.5 kwacha because you're the love of my life. And this one kwacha, the 19 ngwe that is in here, I'll keep 75, but I'll give you 19 ngwe. Oh, shirufye weka. Spare us. We are tired. Okay, all right. What was I saying next? Bowman. Bowman is such a dweeb. Can you believe this? Bowman Lusambo is such a twap. He really is. Guys, we all know, I mean, I've been in the court system. When you're found guilty, they give you a chance to sort of appeal to the court to be lenient. Okay? And remember, guys, judges are human beings. They watch social media the same you and I watch. They watch TV, they eat, they go to the bathroom, they put their slacks on one leg at a time. Judges, magistrates, Supreme Court judges, they are just human beings. The only difference is that they are learned. That is all. That the difference between them and us is that those chaps, they are learned. But they are susceptible to the same things that you and I go through. The Word of God says, touched by the feelings of our infirmity. Okay? So, you must understand that when you're standing in front of a judge, he knows a lot about you. So Bowman, instead of humbling himself, he starts showboating. Imwe, na mudia, don't worry, you're going to eat in 2026. No, this system was fraudulent. False witnesses, this, that, and the other. You know you're going to stand in front of a judge and you're acting arrogant. They're going to throw the book at you, Bowman. And guess what? That's exactly what they did. As things stand right now, accumulatively, that word's always a tongue twister for me, boy. 7 years. Bowman is going to be in prison for at least 3.5 years consecutively. That's a big deal. The person that he named his children after, Edgar and Esther, they were nowhere to be seen. See, this is the thing about these politicians. When you name your babies after a president and you think that it's going to curry favor, curry, C-U-R-R-Y, not carry, curry favor. Honey, when the gauntlet drops, when the guillotine drops, you're going to be standing there by yourself. ECL was not escorting Bowman to court. He wasn't. He was going there by himself. And really, at the end of the day, that's all. It's always that way. You go there by yourself. Even after you've named your children after Edgar Lungu, ECL was nowhere to be seen. What's the lesson? When you face the law by yourself. What was the third thing? I had 3 things I wanted to talk about. What were they? Tell me in the comments. Tell me. It was 3 things. I forget. What was it? Was it 3 things? I forget. I do. You know, at my age, sometimes you forget what it is. Well, anyway, that'll suffice. I think that's sufficient for now. Thank you so much for listening. Uncle Who? What are you saying? Well, thanks for listening, guys. Appreciate you so much. God bless you. Bye.